April 28, 1945. In the shadow of collapsing empires and the rubble of a devastated continent, one man's flight from justice would mark not only the end of a tyrant, but the beginning of Europe's reckoning with its darkest hour. This is the story of Benito il Duce Mussolini, his fall, his execution, and the lessons that still echo 8 decades later. Mussolini's rise from socialist agitator to fascist dictator reshaped Italy and cast a long shadow over Europe. But as spring 1945 dawned, the facade was crumbling. Allied armies pressed north. Partisan bands harried retreating German units. And in a last desperate bid for safety, the 61-year-old despot attempted a final escape into neutral Switzerland. What happened next would become one of the most symbolic moments of World War II's endgame, and a potent reminder of democracy's fragile triumph. For over 2 decades, Mussolini wielded unchecked authority. By 1943, however, Italy's fortunes had reversed. The Allied landings in Sicily precipitated the collapse of Italy's regular army. King Victor Emmanuel III dismissed Mussolini, who was then imprisoned, only to be sprung by German paratroopers in the daring Gran Sasso raid. Installed as head of the Italian Social Republic, he was a nominee of Hitler, commanding little more than a German-occupied rump state in the north, devoid of popular support. As Allied columns closed in, Mussolini sought two things: to evade the British and Americans, hoping perhaps to negotiate sanctuary, and to avoid the communist partisans who hungered for vengeance. Disguised in a Luftwaffe officer's greatcoat and helmet, he joined a German convoy bound for Austria. Yet on April 27th, outside the village of Dongo, partisan checkpoints detected the ruse. Among the detained were Clara Petacci, his longtime mistress, and several fascist ministers. In the early hours of April 28th, in Giuliano di Mazzegra, Mussolini and Petacci faced a firing squad. Accounts differ on who pressed the trigger. Communist commander Walter Audicio, alias Colonel Valerio, is often credited, but the outcome was indisputable. Within hours, their bodies were driven to Milan, displayed in Piazzale, Loreto. Hung upside down from an Esso petrol station, their corpses became a canvas for collective outrage. Stones hurled, curses spat, cameras clicking. It was a macabre spectacle steeped in symbolism, the ultimate unmasking of tyranny. Mussolini's violent end punctuated Italy's urgent need to rebuild infrastructure, institutions, and moral foundations alike. In June 1946, Italians voted to abolish the monarchy and birth a republic. The new constitution, effective January 1st, 1948, enshrined checks on executive power and robust guarantees of civil liberties. Measures born of hard lessons learned under fascism's excesses. Across Europe, the fall of Il Duce underscored a broader imperative: to construct frameworks that could safeguard democracy. As demagogues reemerge in our time, exploiting polarization, undermining truth, eroding checks and balances, the story of April 28, 1945 resonates with urgency. Democracy demands active citizens, informed dialogue, and unwavering commitment to the rule of law. If Mussolini's flight ended at the hands of those he once suppressed, it was because ordinary people chose resistance over resignation. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history's turning point. If you found value in understanding how collective action shaped Europe's destiny and how those lessons guide us today, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Together, let's keep the flame of democracy alive.